Good afternoon. Yes, I have determined that you must listen to this in the afternoon. No other time is acceptable. It is illegal to listen to this podcast outside the hours of 12 to 4 in the Seychelles.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't tell people what just happened. You already started that intro, and I decided the podcast medium would be better served if I actually recorded your voice, because I had forgotten to press the big red button.
This is the level of control that you exert and expertise you bring. He presses the big red button.
The big red button, yeah. Sometimes I don't want to.
No.
But I only press it when I think something is worthy recording.
Yeah. So I have to. I basically,
He's been here for 4
repeat
hours.
everything twice, and he hand edits everything.
Hand edits
with a blade and tape.
Hand edits sounds like we're at where people go into town on the weekend, and their people have paintings on Merrion Square, and there's just some very talented human has painted an amazing bucolic country scene, and then there's just me down the end with those glasses that I've stolen from a jeweller's with the big thick thing on it.
Can I?
God, I've hand edited. Please take this audio recording.
Can I tell
Hand
you
edited.
and educate you and everyone else a little bit in the world of audio editing for a second?
Before you do that,
Okay.
Can I tell you, I once knew a person who worked, they shall remain nameless, who worked with an agency and said to one of her acts, "Can you send me a CD of your podcast so I can send it around to other people?"
Oh my God, a CD of your podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, go on.
No. This is all tying in beautifully. Right now in 2026,
Yeah.
Adobe, the
Yeah.
wonderful Adobe, have created an incredible tool where you can take any audio, say for example, an episode of this podcast,
Yeah.
and you can upload it into their Adobe Podcast Enhance tool, and it will transcribe it word for word,
yeah.
which happens a lot. You see it on the
Yeah.
Apple Podcasting, whatever. It's not a big deal. However, the way in which audio is stored is a WAV file. Okay, so it is literally a visual representation. So if I go a visual,
Yeah.
and you get a bit of a spike in the WAV file, and then if I say a visual representation, it gets smaller. Okay, so then when you're editing, you're using your ears and you're going along and you're going, "Oh, Neil made a terrible error there.
Okay.
He libeled someone yet again.
Yes.
He's liable to get arrested. The revenue are investigating. We want to cut that bit out."
Okay.
So you would go along to where Neil begins to speak about that. You
Yeah.
would put your cursor there, hit a slice button, a scissors button.
Yeah.
Then you would fast forward to where Neil stops libeling people, hit it, and you would remove that bit, and the other two bits come closer together.
And you have a 4-minute podcast.
You have a former podcast, which is why it's available on CD, in HMV, and golden discs. So right now we operate in a world where you can upload your audio file to Adobe's Enhance platform, and it will transcribe it, and then you can edit the Word document, edit the document of text.
Yeah.
And as you delete a section where Neil libels several government leaders,
Yeah.
as I delete the text, it edits the audio
I've
file.
done this. I've
Yeah.
done it for video.
It's incredible,
It's amazing.
right? However,
Yeah.
I would like you to bring you back to 18 months ago. That wasn't available. And all we did was we did what I just explained, the visual representation where you go and cut your files and do whatever.
Okay.
And it's all done on a computer in a program, and you save the file and get ready for play out. Obviously, I do it a lot in radio. Go back to the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
We used to use mini disc editing, okay? So these big, long, cuboid mini disc editors. And what we would do is you would record a call with a listener or a celebrity or whatever. And then there was a jog wheel, okay? And the jog wheel would, you'd have a menu. So you'd be listening to the call and you'd hear me going, "Okay, are they up on line 2? Yeah, great. Okay. Hi, Neil." And you'd say,
Hi, Dave.
"Okay." And I want to start you at "Hi, Dave," because I want to say "Hi, Neil" live and get rid of all the faff at the start.
Yes.
So I would click edit on a menu of like LED, terrible small blue LEDs. And then it would go choose position, and I would click, and it would go, "Are they on the phone line the hi I need," and I go stop, and I go insert, and it would cut there on the digital mini disc. And then if I wanted to edit anything out of the middle of that, it would take an hour to edit that manually that way.
Really?
That was in the early 2000s, right? The producer that worked on my first radio show had also been on the radio maybe 5 years previous to that. Mini discs didn't exist. Everything was recorded on reel-to-reel tape, a la the Beatles.
Really?
In the late 90s,
Yeah.
it was reel-to-reel tape. And what her co-host would do, he had a razor blade, chalk, and tape. And he would go and spool the, and we'd go, hi Neil, hi Dave, and go, and chalk it, slice the next bit, cut it, throw it on the floor, put the two pieces of tape together, tape it together like they edited film in the 50s, and go play on the big machine.
When was this?
This was in the late 90s.
That is insane.
Isn't it?
Whereas now it's all waveforms.
All
and we can
waveforms,
just
and
use it.
now text to waveform.
There is a way to break the internet though.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this has been recorded as a waveform.
Yeah.
So if I shout, as you said, it goes in a big wave.
Big wave.
What if I whisper? So what if I whisper the word tsunami? Right. It's a massive wave. Right. But it's a small. I try. It's a small wave on the computer, and basically. That leads to a black hole because the two things can't coexist. So when we go outside, nuclear winter. Is this ASMR now? I don't know. Is it? You know that for the last kind of 10 minutes of you explaining that, I was just waiting to do that joke. I was just waiting to do the joke. Oh, stop!
It was worth the wait.
Thank you.
It
Yeah,
was worth the
I
wait.
was just going. This is what I'm going to say.
Have you
now in
any
a few
facts
minutes.
for us, or will
I
we just-
have loads of facts here.
Go on.
This is silly. Have you ever heard of the Wicked Bible?
No.
By the way, normally I do some facts, he does some facts. He took up so much of the episode last week,
I just like talking about Taylor Swift.
poo-pooing my sauna suggestions, that I'm going to basically do my facts this week, and that's how we're going to do it. Have you ever heard of the Wicked Bible?
No.
Okay. It's okay. I would suggest the most important
Sorry,
parts.
you know the way is it the St. James? What's the famous one in a hotel?
Yeah.
Is the Wicked Bible simply a Bible sponsored by Blue Wicked? Because that is something that if I pulled open the drawer of a hotel, I would be glad to see that.
Yes, it's a precursor to the Smirnoff Ice
Yeah,
Bible.
exactly.
And what's the thing you get? I used to get on a Ryanair flight, the ball of mischief,
Yeah,
whatever that was.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it should have been called, the ball of mischief. No, it's a Bible. It was printed in 1631.
Okay.
Now, there's an error in the Bible.
Right.
This is what I would suggest, that if you're checking the Bible, I would have thought the most important parts of the Bible, I'm not a religious man, I know you're not a religious man, right? I would suggest the most important parts of the Bible would be commandments. If you're skimming the Bible, what do you remember of the Bible? You remember
Ten
the gospel,
commandments.
10 commandments,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So like all that sort of, or the Beatitudes, you know, the peacemakers will inherit the earth, whatever the crack he said there. I before E, except after C. all the don't eat the yellow snow. The Beatitudes, right? And love thy neighbor as thyself.
Sure.
Big one. Treat people as you'd like to be treated.
cornerstone.
A cornerstone.
Yeah.
And I think Old Testament stuff, guy comes down from the mountain, Moses has the rules.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a typo, don't have them in those two
In
bits.
those places.
Okay. 1631. It's called the Wicked Bible. So, they forgot the word not from one of the
Of
commandments.
the commandments. Thou shalt.
Yes.
Oh, tremendous.
So they
What
have
shalt we?
thou shalt not kill.
Okay.
They have thou shalt not steal. But then readers are informed that thou shalt commit adultery.
Oh, shalt.
Yes.
Right.
So 1,000 copies of this were produced. It was called the Adulterous or Sinners or Boris Johnson Bible of the day. Possibly the last one, might not necessarily be true. And it was only discovered a year later.
Wow. No, so it wasn't initially marketed as the Wicked Bible. It was only when it once was it was like, oh, hang on, this is wicked.
I mean, that would be a brilliant way to market this. Listen, you're going to need to get out of jail.
Yeah.
Listen, we're all...
Yeah.
We invented marriage. We were all going to live to the age of 22. We're living a little bit longer now in the 1600s. You might even get to 25, 26.
Imagine.
You're going to need a loophole.
Yeah.
Buy this Bible. I don't think anybody used it as a justification.
Or, do you know what the way I'm a sneakerhead? right?
Yeah.
And right now, actually in 2026,
Yeah.
there's new Kobe's out. Okay, Kobe Bryant passed away, obviously, but there's new set of Kobe's out. I think there are 14 of them, but I'm not sure. And you buy a blind box, you buy a pair of Kobe's, and it's blind, and they're all. I think they're referencing different parts of his
Gives
career.
you their size, though, right?
Oh, your size, absolutely, yeah. But
how blind is it? It gives you the size,
so it gives you the size, and you know it's a pair of Kobe's.
and both of the sizes of the shoes are the same size.
Yes, they are. Yeah. The only thing is you don't know the colorway.
Okay.
So the colorway could be white. I think 13 of them are white.
Okay.
With different little kind of nuanced colors that reference maybe his college or his high school or whatever, right? There's one pair of Lakers, and they're yellow and purple. And what it gives you as a sticker on the box is it gives you the percentage chance of finding each of the shoes. And they're all fine, except the yellow Lakers are 4%.
Right.
So you only have a 4% chance if you buy a pair of these, and therefore that will rocket the value of those things in the resale market. You know, I think maybe in the 1600s, this is kind of how they should have marketed it. Said, "Oh, we've released loads of Bibles.
Yeah.
They're all standard, and you ain't got no get out of jail free card.
Okay.
But if you buy the right one, you get the Wicked one. It's blue, obviously sponsored by Blue Wicked.
Yeah.
You know,
Buy
you
loads
won't
of
know,
Bibles.
but you got to take the exactly.
They're inflating the Bible
They're
market.
inflating the Bible market. Bible heads.
That's
what they should have been.
Bible heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody used it as justification. Like,
Oh, they should have.
you come out to your missus, you come out to your husband, and they're like, you have sinned against our vows, you've sinned against God. And will you say that?
Now, let me draw your attention.
Draw your attention to page 43 of this bad boy here. Ignore the 4% rule because daddy hit the jackpot. It says very much the opposite. Yeah. So, no, but think of how you're talking about, like, the word of God comes from on high.
Yeah.
So this is serious.
And also in that era, the respect with which the Bible would have been held.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, you're talking about people going to, Puritans going to New England and living and Salem witch trials. So people, it was taken fairly seriously.
I would say so.
It was uncovered. The printers, Robert Barker and Martin Lucas, were summoned by order of King Charles to court and found guilty. They were also fined £300 and their printing license was removed. And the entire print run of the offending text was called in and the majority destroyed. Around 10, I've read differing reports, around 10 are believed to exist today, according to Bonham.
Imagine the value of those bad boys.
Well, Bonham's had an auction of one recently and they put about 10 to 15,000 pounds on it.
Oh, is that okay? Right.
It went. There was other ones that went for a bit close to 50,000.
Right.
The controversy, because the printing license was taken away, Barker, who I mentioned, his decline in fortune and reputation was massive.
Oh no.
The £300 fine was kiboshed, but he died in prison. Like, he went to
So
debtor's
everything fell
prison
apart.
and
Right. Okay.
everything fell apart. One of the guys from Bonham says the controversy added to Barker's decline in fortune's reputation, and he was in and out of the King's Bench prison before dying there in 1645.
Wow.
A relatively short time. It's 1631 is when it came
out.
Came out. Yeah.
You just mentioned something there, and you know the way your algorithm and my algorithm probably on social media are very different, but I would imagine the unifying topic in the algorithm is facts,
Right. And sport. Probably.
And sport, yeah. So I got one today, and a girl reading out a list of facts.
Okay.
That's facts that sound untrue, but they aren't.
Yeah.
One of them was this. You mentioned the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
They didn't burn no witches in the Salem witch trials. They only burned witches in England, and they hung witches in Salem, and they imprisoned witches. They never burned anyone, because immediately when I hear that, I think of
burning,
terrible burnings and all that. But apparently they didn't. Again, I haven't researched her fact. She just read it out to be covered in tattoos and looked like she was cool.
Okay, fair enough.
So I believe her.
I've looked up some other Bible.
See, this guy's done Bible facts. Go on.
A 1716 edition of the 17th century King James Version replaces "Sin no more" from Jeremiah 31:34 with "Sin on more."
Sin on more.
8,000 copies printed before anyone noticed.
8,000?
Yeah. Now, what you want is those two Bibles, don't you? You want "Thou shalt commit adultery," and if that's not enough of sins, This Jeremiah himself,
He says sin on.
who's my favorite of all the ayahs, Jeremiah. This is very awkward. It's Mark 7:27. I think this is going to appeal to you, given your progeny. It's supposed to say, "Let the children first be filled." And a 1795 edition of the King James Version says, "Let the children first be killed."
Wow. So you think that would appeal to me? You think that infanticide
That sometimes it gets too much for you. That's what I would suggest.
It does sometimes get too much
And if you could swear in on the Bible at your
Yeah,
trial
and go,
do you know something? Just flick open.
Can I get the 17th century Bible that says...
Yeah, 18th century.
18th century, sorry.
Known as the Cannibal's Bible. Actually true. So
This
Wicked
is-
Bible is what it was titled.
Now you're appealing to me.
Not at the time. It wasn't
Yeah.
called Wicked Bible at the time, I think. But Cannibal's Bible, this is a real one. 1682, printing alters a passage from Deuteronomy 24:3, which is meant to say, "If the latter husband hate her." And it says, "If the latter husband ate her."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
First husband's fine, but if the latter husband ate her,
He eats her.
it's not
That's
good.
trouble.
It's not good.
That's trouble.
This is my favourite one. A damaged piece of type in a 1944 edition of the King James Version changed to the depressing commandment, "Wives, in the same way submit yourselves to your own husbands." I don't know where you stand on that.
If you met my wife,
I have met
I'm
your wife.
submitting to her at
Yes.
any time she wants me to.
Yes. You are tapping the mat figuratively and metaphorically and literally and all the Elise. It switched that to, which I think is much more exciting. So, "Wives, in the same way, submit yourselves to your own husbands."
Yeah.
And it changed that to, "In the same way, wives, submit yourselves to your owl husbands."
Owl.
Yeah.
Now, OUL apostrophe in the Irish sense.
owl.
Owl.
Not owl
OWL.
triangle. Owl husbands.
Owl husbands.
I think you should submit yourselves to your owl husband, because if there's one thing you could be sure about, if your husband was an owl, you're getting away with nothing. That's
the truth.
You're standing anywhere within about 270 degrees.
Yeah.
And that fella, like, he's looking around. He knows what you're doing.
He's not turning his neck, though.
He's not turning his. He's turning.
But he's looking.
He's looking, and it's not fully 360. But he's
And also, he doesn't have eyeballs, which is what I believed for a long time, was that the owl's eyeballs were so big they couldn't turn his head. In fact, he only has cones.
Yeah, and you used to believe that it was the eyes that swiveled.
So, I thought that
What was
his
side
eyes
of his-
couldn't swivel because they were too big, and that's why he would turn his neck so much. But it turns out they don't have eyeballs at all. That's what I
You
believed.
thought he couldn't swivel his eyes.
Yeah, I thought he couldn't go like that. He had to. They were always pointing forward.
Do you know
Because
when
they
you
were just too big.
Do you know when you see someone and their neck is quite stiff?
Yeah.
They've slept wrongly, whatever, and they look at you, and instead of just looking at you like that, they do the whole.
Yeah.
And you thought that's owls were essentially
Effectively.
all owls had slept badly because they're awake at night.
I
of course.
once sat
They'd slept
behind.
in all owls
Yeah,
had slept in a
They're-
draft.
I was once sat behind Cian Healy, the Irish rugby player, in a cinema
He
screen.
has a big old neck on him, I'd
And
say.
the traps that guy
Yeah,
had, right?
yeah.
So I guess I was assuming that owls work their eyes muscles so much
Okay.
that they had Cian Healy trap muscles in their heads.
In their eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. and like you say, you're curious about facts. And you never decided to research that
No.
wildly
No.
mentally
Yeah,
unstable
that's just what I just
ornithological theory.
believed, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you one more before we take a quick break. We're moving away from the Bible now.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, actually, it's the pasta Bible. It's
Oh.
penguins, the pasta Bible.
Right.
I mean, owl husbands is kind of ha 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 ha. It's obviously a mistake. There's nothing malevolent in that. There's nothing untoward in that. Imagine.
Ooh, you fooling.
That's just revenge for the tsunami thing,
It is.
isn't it?
I wasn't thinking about it for any more than half a
That's-
second, which is why the standard of joke is worse.
That's fair. No, I don't think it was.
Do you really? I don't have much. I don't have much in the way of talents.
I,
Talents.
oh,
Come on, guys.
I'm going to go watch a little late show after this. Okay.
The pasta Bible.
Penguins, the pasta Bible. 7,000 copies of the book had to be destroyed after a recipe for tagliatelle with sardines and prosciutto
Yeah.
took a fairly weird turn because it called for salt and freshly ground black people.
No.
Oh my good God.
Oh no.
Can you imagine when that comes to light, the person who's a proofreader goes,
Where did it go wrong? Was it submitted as the original document?
Well, the author
original draft
was
said people.
David Duke of the KKK was the original author of the document. I think, and maybe that's where. Yeah, I mean, it was a big Southern rebel flag on the front of it and stuff. So I don't know if that. It was mainly sort of Klan rallies. Is any of this making sense? No, somebody just made a mistake.
Pepper people.
A terrible mistake.
Wow.
And so, can you imagine the panic?
Like,
when you
seriously.
discovered that you were the person. Publisher lost $20,000. It's in Australia in the cleanup process, but that didn't last very long because, like the penny black and a mistake.
Okay.
We've talked about this before in coins and all the rest.
Yes.
If it's a mistake, suddenly everybody wants it.
Yeah.
As tends to happen when anything touched by a terrible misprint, it boosted the sales of the book.
Naturally. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was pretty
is
horrific.
brilliant.
I will give you my favorite ones in the second half of this.
Can't
episode.
wait. Can't wait.
Welcome back to the second half of Why Would You Tell Me That? I promise you more.
I want more facts, more mistake facts.
We are childish on this show.
Yes, proud
And
to be.
my good Lord, is this childish. Sarah Wendell is a woman who is an amazing, she blogs about books and just is in that world, and decided, this is from a few years ago, she decided that if a text is quite old and they want an ebook,
Yes.
what people used to do is they would just use optical character recognition. This is from a few years ago now.
Sure.
It was much worse than it is now, as we were talking about at the
Yeah.
start. The scanner sees certain words and it doesn't read certain words well.
Is this where CAPTCHA came from? That CAPTCHA thing where you like identify what the scrumbly up letters are on a web form when you're submitting. That came from this kind of thing where computers were reading text and text and text, but they would have question marks or couldn't understand or would get something wrong. And then the guy realized that he could solve two problems. He could prove you were not a robot and get these letters correctly identified. And so that's what CAPTCHA was.
Wow.
It was an amazing project to help the digitalization of books.
Although I'm not as against robots as I used to be.
All right.
I've got a robot lawnmower.
This needs to be an episode in itself. Save it for a bonus. Save it for a bonus.
Okay.
You gotta have to hear robot lawnmower stories.
I don't know if it's okay. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
So if the text is old and it says arms, the optical character recognition scanner will see it as anus.
Oh dear.
So she was referring to the process by which printed.
Now, do you remember in the bonus episode, Owen made our coat of arms?
Yeah.
I mean, Owen, you need to go back to the drawing board. It needs to be a coat of anus, and I want you to begin work on it forthwith. Use all the AI technology you can. Every single inch of it needs to be an anus. Thank you.
Coat of Anus, of course, is the follow-up hit in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat with my anus of many colours, isn't that it? He went for colonoscopy and jade and red and yellow and blue, and we really need to look at your diet. Please, Owen, don't send us the coat of
Send
anus.
it to me.
You want to see the coat of
I
anus?
wanna
There's no
see
way
it.
that's getting
I
through
want the spam filter.
the spam filter. Okay, so what Wendell did, Sarah Wendell did, is she didn't just leave us with that. She didn't just go, listen, arms
Is anus.
is read as anus
Yeah.
if you're scanning and converting into an ebook. Here are some of the examples of this.
Oh, tremendous,
and
Sarah.
where are arms used more than anything else? Mills and Boone.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so Mrs. Tipton went over to him and put her anus around his neck. Yes.
Wow.
My dear, she said rapturously, I had been hoping for years that you would talk that way to me. I mean, how do you even approach?
It's impressive.
Beginning to put-
it is impressive sphincter control. Is all I will say.
I think you gotta have no sphincter control. I think they gotta just snip out
that
that little circular muscle straight away to get. I mean, do you know? I don't know how this episode's going to go out, but you know, if you were into that sort of thing, right?
What? Anal wrapping?
No, if you were into that sort of play,
Right.
I could have to delicately.
Okay. Because my daughters listen to this and they're 11. And all they ever go is
that's not
play
my
the
fault.
most recent episode.
That's not my
This is not
fault.
something they're going to come across when they're older.
Okay.
They're 11 now.
That's not my fault.
No, but you need to know your audience.
Okay, I'm suggesting if you were wanting to get something into
In
a small place,
space,
you would
yeah.
start with smaller things
And
gradually build up to the bigger thing. So if Mrs. Tipton went over to him and put her anus around his neck, what? First of all, I don't think that's how a medal should be presented. Can you imagine if that was the Olympics? I think you'd have mixed feelings if you were standing there watching one of our boxers, because it's going to be one of our boxers.
yeah.
And it's a she. It's always going to be a she.
Always, yeah.
It's a Katie Taylor. It's a Kelly Harrington standing there on the highest rank of the podium
Yeah.
as Elron Naveen is played.
the tricolour
and
comes
the
down.
tricolour just slowly is raised to its rightful place
Yeah.
above all other flags. I think you would have mixed feelings if then one of the Olympic committee or whoever's part of the medal ceremony came along and you just heard the muffled singing of
you think you would have mixed feelings. What about the boxer? That's all I'll say. I think you'd throw the fight in the third round. You'd throw the fight and go,
I'm just thinking
I'm not winning
no,
this.
boxers are who you want because they're experts in the ring. That's the clip.
That's it.
That's
our
the clip
clip right
for the
there.
internet. Okay.
That's how childish we are.
Oh my god. So that was the first one.
Right.
From the title, Matisse on the Loose. When she spotted me, she flung her anus high in the air.
What?
And kept them up until she reached me.
Damn.
Matisse.
Plural anuses.
Matisse, oh boy, she said. She grabbed my anus and positioned my body in the direction of the East Gallery, and we started walking.
So she threw her anus in the air and then grabbed his anus to direct him. Oh, God.
Come on, but I've never steered anybody.
No.
Well, I mean, I've been thrown.
I'll tell you what. Obedience is not an issue. If you're steering somebody by the anus.
You would travel in the direction of anus.
Oh, wherever
Wouldn't
you
you?
need me to go.
I mean, if you were ever thrown out, imagine you were in Vic Street. Imagine you were in the Olympia, whatever. Maybe you got a bit rowdy at my gig,
Sure.
right? And I had a bit of a code word, which was "get that man,
Yeah,
get that
yeah,
man."
yeah,
or no,
yeah.
or I went, "Oh, we all like Metallica," and that was my
Yes.
code word to the bouncer.
Gotcha.
To get rid of you, but my code word to get rid of you quite violently will be out with a mosh pit, right? And then instead of grabbing you by the shoulder or maybe even getting your arm, I'm not suggesting the bouncers there would do this.
Sure.
Because they're professional.
Professionals.
But maybe it's somewhere else, right? Rather than getting your arm and maybe twisting it up behind your back, you just heard the little pop of a finger. or if a bouncer looked at you and just slowly
Oh, sorry.
just slowly lubed up his index finger
No.
or his ring
No.
finger, whichever,
Either way, I'm
I mean,
leaving the
you'd-
venue.
you'd
I'm
leave.
leaving the venue.
You would not
I
wait.
No.
until he had
No, I am gone.
anally corralled you.
Oh, I don't need that.
No one needs it.
No,
No one needs
no.
to be anally corralled, do they? By the way, this is the rest of the episode.
Okay, I've
This is
no
all
doubt.
this
I've
is.
no doubt.
Also, Mrs. Neville, in exquisite emotion, threw her anus around the neck of Caroline, pressed her with fever to her breast.
Wow.
So I suppose there's a lot of throwing your anus
There
around.
seems to be, a pattern emerging in the Mills and Boone novels.
Yeah, yeah.
Anal throwing. Whatever tiddles people.
What a weird fun fair that would be. You've got the coconut shy there.
Yeah.
And then you
Anus throw.
your bottom onto some sort of pin that's put in the ground, like horseshoes. You know when you throw a horseshoe
Rather
in a
than
pin.
getting it to wrap around you to get it to... straight up. Okay.
And Bertie, dear Bertie, will you not say good night to me? Pleaded the sweet voice of Minnie Hamilton as she wound her anus affectionately around her brother's neck.
Oh, stop. No, now it's getting bad.
Oh no! What do you mean now it's getting bad?
Initially, it was... Oh, no. Not around her brother's neck.
Oh, that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, it is where I draw the line.
So you don't mind.
Mrs. Tibbet was fine. But...
So hold on. You don't mind the imagery of
No. Or Matisse being brought to the East Gallery. I'm okay with that.
You don't mind us besmirching the years of amateur toil that our Olympic athletes would go through. You don't mind that.
No.
You don't mind that idea.
No.
But you do draw the line at incestuous.
His brother.
That's
the issue I have.
I know. You see, you went too far. You never name a person. Once you name a person, it becomes real, and that's just not right. We'll beep out that name. So you draw the list. Okay. Well, let's see how he responds to
great.
this. Bertie, dear Bertie, will you not say goodnight to me? Pleaded the sweet voice of Minnie Hamilton as she wound her anus affectionately around her brother's neck. Now, I would say she wound it affectionately. Winding it is difficult.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think all of it's difficult, if I'm honest.
It's just a circular.
But also, they've employed an adverb.
It was
But that's what I'm
affectionately.
saying. They've employed, because that implies that if she were not so fond of Bertie, she could wind it unaffectionately.
Yes.
You know,
In a
with great violence.
with great violence, with great venom, with great fervour.
I mean, that is not what you want.
No, he replied angrily, pushing her away from him. Well, wouldn't you? So, I mean, I think he would agree with you, and he thinks it's a step too
It's
far.
too far.
As well.
I think if it was his Aunt Tibbet, I think he'd be fine. I think his sister is too close to him.
Okay. Although it's probably been in Game of Thrones, I would have thought.
Probably.
And then if you run wound her anus through Google book search, you go, there's loads of other examples.
Right, and you seem to be familiar with a lot of
No,
them.
this is from a Guardian
Oh,
article
listen,
that we will
yeah.
link to. This is the last one. Sunday reading for the young. Oh God, that's the name of the book.
Right.
Includes the possibly age inappropriate. I think there's no possibly about this. Little Millie wound her anus lovingly around Mrs. Green's neck.
Can I just say, I didn't realise how unimaginative and repetitious the Mills and Boons world was. Every single thing is wound around the
romance
neck.
novels. I don't know why I said Mills and Boone there.
Okay.
You're using that as a catch-all term.
Gotcha,
A
yes.
catch-all
Okay.
term. You spread your anus wide.
I see what you mean. But either way,
Yeah.
the choice of words is identical in almost every episode.
Well, don't ever look up "tuck him in your arms." Tuck him in her arms. Don't look up.
I wasn't
any of
planning on looking up anything you've said today. If I'm
because
honest.
that will.
That's where
tuck
it took
him
him
in.
in
Whatever.
her-
You know?
yeah.
So don't do that.
No,
I would suggest.
I will. Yeah, definitely not do that.
You see, we started off with the Bible, and because you're such an irreligious man, you were like, "Oh, chuckle, 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 chuckle,
Yeah.
chuckle." But we really got into the weeds then, didn't we? In a way that is, I find I'm a bit.
You're disgusted with yourself. These are you made the choice.
I don't know how
you
I feel
woke up
about-
this morning and decided you wanted to wrap your anus around these facts, and here we are.
And here we are.
You did it.
We are where we are.
Yeah,
But you learned some things.
I definitely learned some
possibly
things.
some stuff you didn't want to learn. I think. You see, I don't think that would be as bad as. Do you know you've got several sphincter muscles in your body, right? You know this, don't you?
Well, you're about to educate me.
So you've got one, for example, between your throat and your stomach. So it's just a circular ring of muscle.
Sure, yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
yeah,
it
that's
is.
all it is.
And it's just a body
It's
part.
perfectly natural.
And we shouldn't be. I was going to say we shouldn't be backward and coming forward and talking about a body part. It's just a body part.
Throw it around your aunt's neck affectionately if you want.
Wrecked them. Nearly fucking killed them. Yes, we should just say. I hope all these books had threw her anus around him and then colon. hopefully in the books themselves. But listen, we didn't use any bad words there.
No, we
They're
didn't.
all the real words. It did happen. It is factual. And if you want to skip this episode, that's fine by us. If you want to listen to this episode over and over and over again, I would be a little bit worried about that. I thought it could have gone two ways. I present you with facts, you see, and so sometimes you go highbrow.
Oh,
And sometimes
rarely.
you go lowbrow.
Often.
And I was hoping that you would elevate this up, but the first thing you did ask for was a coat of anuses. And once you open that door, leave it.
That musculature of a door.
Once you open that passage,
Well, I like
I had to.
I like the way you were looking at me for maturity.
Yeah.
You've done this podcast with me now this is our 4th year. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I suppose.
I would embrace your anus.
But anyway, this has been sponsored by
and you saw.
I was going to say, actually, this is what we should say. If you've been affected by any of the issues we've raised in the episode,
Stuck her finger up your anus and brought you to the East Gallery while you were being turfed out of a comedy gig, then please contact the Anus Authority of Ireland.
the Anus Authority of Ireland. Can you imagine? Imagine having that on a card. Oh, it's embossed. Lovely. No, you should get yourself checked out. Fellas in particular, don't get themselves checked out. Get yourself checked out. There's any issues down there, get yourself checked out. Listen to this podcast while you're being checked out. It'll take your mind
It
off
sounds
it.
like if you call over to Neil's house, he will he will check you out.
I will not check you out. If you've got any questions for us, and frankly speaking,
coats of arms that you wish to send,
why wouldn't you? Email your questions to wwytmtpodcast@gmail.com. You can
or you can get us on our Instagram at Anus Arms. At Anus Arms Typos. It's where you'll find us and Mrs. Tibbet. So we'll see you out there.
I don't know why I find Anus Arms so funny. Anus Arms Typos. Can you imagine if we went on Instagram and that was already taken? Imagine it was already taken.
Check that right now.
There's a guy going, what are the chances of this? First, emo, and now this. Okay, you can listen.
Right, now my algorithm is going to be completely ruined as I search Anus Arms Typos.
I really hope you open the front door.
Profiles.
And the guards are just standing outside.
No results found
Okay.
for Anus Arms
Wow,
Typos.
there's a surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not always going to be this juvenile, but it will mostly be this juvenile. Listen to him on the radio between 9 and 12. You can check out neildelamere.com for gigs, and let's put this behind us.
Or inside us.